Welcome to Module 3, Protecting Human Research Participants. This section is called 3.1, What are Research Ethics? If you're going through the training independently, make sure to open up the training guide link for Module 3.1. Remember that research can be defined as a systematic investigation. When we do a systematic investigation, it is important that our research is ethical. Let's talk about the word ethics. Ethics is derived from the Greek word ethos, which refers to the collective values of a society, culture, or community. The idea of ethics is focused on doing the right thing. What does the word ethics mean to you? If you are following along independently in your Module 3.1 training guide link, make sure to use the guide to record your answers. Please pause the video now while you record your responses. Let's talk about research ethics. Research ethics are principles that help us know how to do the right thing when we are doing research. You might ask, how do people know how to do the right thing when they're doing research? Or, what does it mean to do research ethically? A document called the Belmont Report outlines 3 principles of ethical research. These principles are respect for persons, beneficence, and justice. Respect for person means that people who participate in research should be treated with respect. They must understand what the research is about and agree to take part without being forced against their own free will. As a board member, you can ensure that researchers have respect for people by making sure that people with substance use disorders who take part in research know what they're getting into. For example, you could ask researchers how they explain their research project and get consent from participants. You can also ask researchers questions to consider ways that people might feel pressured to participate in research and work to put safeguards in place so people can make choices without feeling pressure. For example, if there is a study happening in a treatment facility, having staff from the treatment facility recruit or consent participants into the study may make people feel like they have to participate if they want their counselor to be happy with them. A safeguard might be having someone from the research team enroll participants in the study and remind participants that whether they choose to participate will not impact the services they receive. Are there other measures researchers can take to show respect to the people participating in their research? Please pause the video while you record your responses. If you are following along independently in your Module 3.1 training guide link, make sure to use the guide to record your answer. Beneficence means that the goal of research should be to benefit people and cause as little harm as possible. To support beneficence as a community board member, you could ask whether the research will actually help people with substance use disorders. You could also ask whether there are ways to reduce risks or harm to participants. What are some other questions you can ask researchers to make sure the research that they are conducting will actually benefit the participants? Please pause the video while you record your responses. If you are following along independently in your Module 3.1 training guide link, make sure to use the guide to record your answer. Finally, justice means that the groups of people who participate in research should also be the groups of people who will later benefit from the research. For example, historically, researchers have conducted research on people with fewer financial resources, or people who are incarcerated, not because they had intentions to benefit those specific populations, but because those populations might have been easier to reach, more persuaded to participate because of financial incentives, or be less concerned about participating because they might have less information about risks that they could be exposed to during a study. An example of an unjust study was the Tuskegee syphilis experiment. In the United States, in Alabama, from 1932 to 1972, Researchers wanted to understand the progression of syphilis when it was not treated. The study recruited rural Black men and did not provide informed consent or tell them they had syphilis. When a treatment for syphilis became available in 1945, they also did not treat the participants for their syphilis. As a result, many died or experienced severe complications from a treatable illness. During approximately the same time, researchers from the US also went to Guatemala and intentionally infected soldiers, people in mental hospitals, orphans, and prisoners with syphilis and gonorrhea without their knowledge or consent. The Belmont Report was created in response to these and other unethical human research studies. Justice also means that historically excluded groups who might benefit from the research should be represented in the research. For example, research on heart disease historically excluded women, which meant that the information about heart disease among women was more limited. Later, we learned that women with heart disease were more likely to experience different symptoms than men and benefit from different treatments because researchers started doing a better job of including women in the research. If the principle of justice is not followed, can you think of other ethical problems that might happen? Please pause the video while you record your responses. If you are following along independently in your Module 3.1 training guide link, make sure to use the guide to record your answer. In this section, you learned about the 3 ethics principles of respect for persons, beneficence, and justice from the Belmont Report, which is the basis for the United States regulations that protect human subjects. In the next section, you will learn about the role of community members in upholding research ethics. If you are following along independently, make sure that when you complete the questions in this module to let your coordinator know that you are finished.